Hello again, fight fans. I am Jason Burgos for Sherdog.com, and I am joined by a man who's coming off a landmark win and now in training for an even greater opportunity on July 15th. After scoring a pivotal win over a notable name in Edson Barboza in May, he now gets the number 6 ranked featherweight in the world in Calvin Kattar and will be in the first headlining spot in the UFC for himself. This man I speak of is known as 50K, aka Dan Ige. Mr. 50K, sir, thank you for the time today to talk this big opportunity in front of you.
What's up, Jason? Yeah, thank you so much. It's a huge opportunity. I'm super excited. I can't wait. It's awesome. Super fortunate.
I have so many questions for you, but my first is purely of journalistic curiosity, and that is, which did you have a greater fear of dealing with in the lead up? Edson Barboza's leg kicks or getting the COVID-19 test with a cotton swab that touches your brain?
To be honest, I mean, yes, the leg kicks are scary, but you're right, dude. The COVID test, like, but after I actually saw the videos and people like, it's not too bad. You know what was really bad? I've had that. I don't know if you've seen those. They put the balloon up your nose.
Oh, no, no,
They
I
did
haven't
a
seen
couple
that.
times on the Ultimate Fighter. Dude, that's the worst thing ever. That's way worse than the COVID swab. So once I did that, it was minor, but yeah, they were both minor.
Now, like any fighter, you have worked really hard to get to a position not every fighter can, which is a main event slot in a UFC event. Which you got the when you got the offer to fight Calvin, and that it would be the headliner. Is there like a great feeling of accomplishment, a sort of checking off one of those career goal kind of things? A feeling like the biggest MMA promotion in the world now views you as a talent that is a top star and wants to put you in this sort of position. Plus, Calvin was a fight you asked for when you beat Barboza in the post fight after. I mean, does it just check
Yeah,
off everything you wanted?
exactly. I mean, asking shall receive. It's one of those moments that, you know, I was the man who stepped up and took an opportunity. I know the UFC was looking for a main event, and no one wants to fly to Abu Dhabi on a 4 week notice and
Mm.
headline a 5 round fight. So Calvin was a man. He stepped up. I was a man. Calvin doesn't have to fight me. He doesn't have to fight a guy under me. He could wait it out. He's earned it. But much respect to him for going out there and taking this fight with me. For me, it's a win-win. This is a huge opportunity for me to go out there and, like you said, headline, on the biggest stage in the world, in Fight Island, Abu Dhabi, July 15th. So I'm super excited. I'm a man on a mission, and this is everything I've ever worked for, and it's just a stepping stone on my path to, being the champion.
How important was the win over Barbosa? And I don't necessarily mean on a competitive level. We all know
Yeah.
how worthwhile a win over him is. But like on a career branding level, if there was ever a knock from people that might have had on your resume, is that you didn't have, let's say, that signature, like marquee name win yet. When,
Yeah.
that every fighter kind of needs to take that step forward. Would you say that no way a main event slot like this happens without beating someone like him? And did you put a lot of extra pressure on yourself for that fight, because knowing it could be such a game changer, not only for your career but even your life outside of fighting?
For sure. I mean, if we rewind a little bit, um, I got that fight against Edson on a 2.5 week notice. So it was like,
Mm.
if they had offered me Joe Schmo on 2 weeks, it's like, I'm not, it's like, I want to be at my very best. And,
Yeah.
I'm not making any excuses. I came out there and I still pushed the gas pedal. But like, um, to fight a guy like Edson, that was huge. I was like, I want to, yes, I will, I would love that fight. I want to fight the best guys in the world. And, Edson is one of those guys. So that was a huge opportunity for me to fight a guy like Edson, and being on 2 weeks notice, I proved to myself that I'm capable of a lot of things. And
Yeah.
so obviously we could have game planned. I think we game planned great. We did everything we could. So, got a great W, and now here we are again, another short notice fight. But it's one of those situations. Hey, this is an opportunity. Are you willing to step up and take
Damn.
it? And I think that's the reward is much greater than the risk here. Yes, I'm risking uh whatever. Well, what am I risking? Nothing really. I'm the main event. I'm the main
Yeah.
event. That's it.
Yeah.
So,
Because of the electricity of Edson Barboza's kick, I think the gut reaction is for most people to think, oh, he's a higher level of striking threat. However, as we saw in Calvin's last fight with Jeremy Stevens, that man is very dangerous too to
yeah.
what he did to Stevens. Something really only one other person has done, striking, with the head strikes and
Yep.
knocking him out. Where does he rank Calvin in threat level for you? Is he more dangerous than Edson, less dangerous, or is it just a different sort of danger because he is a really good boxer and he's tough on his own level, which is kind of different than Edson?
Oh, definitely. And like, yes, he is just as tough and as much of a danger and a threat on its own level. It's Edson. I had to be very, I was very aware of, what he's good at. His
Yeah.
switch kick, his spinning wheel kicks, like his knees, they're nasty. So I was very aware, and I didn't want to play with fire there, but I knew when to play with fire. I play with fire on my terms. So same thing with Calvin. Slick, great boxer, knockout power, one punch knockout power. Um, but there's a lot that goes into fighting. And it's not going to go out there and we're not just going to have a boxing match. This is an MMA fight. This at the highest level, main event, number 11 versus number 6 in the world. So I'm super excited. It's going to be a competitive battle. Um, I respect Calvin a lot. That's why I asked, for a guy like Calvin, a guy like Stevens, a guy like Zombie. I want to face these guys. They're the best guys, or the cream of the crop of the division, and so I'm just pumped. I'm excited. It's going to be a great fight for the fans for sure.
How do you expect Calvin to approach this fight strategically against you? What do you think his coaches are telling him is the way to beat Dan Ige?
Um, well, so we pretty much have equal opportunity here. We're given pretty much the same notice.
Mm,
Um, I think he has more to worry about and prepare for than I do.
mm,
I obviously I'm respecting every aspect of his game, but if you looked at his fights, he fought majority of strikers.
mm.
I'm a guy who mixes it up. Yes, you've been seeing my striking in the last 2-3 fights really improving, but don't forget about my wrestling. Don't forget about my jiu-jitsu. Don't forget about my clinch game. I have every aspect. But Calvin, I mean, that guy, he's tough. Like, I like to go out there and break guys, and you don't really see Calvin break. You've never seen a guy push him to that level. Um, so it'll be really interesting. I'm curious myself to how everything's gonna play out. I never have I always visualize so many different ways of winning, but it's
Mm.
once you're actually in there, you go out there, you react, you act, react, and things happen. So I'm curious and I'm excited.
And I'm glad you brought up specifically breaking a person because that perfectly goes into where I was going to go next. When it comes to toughness, no one will question a Hawaiian, and especially one like you that has been proving it on the UFC level for a while now. In a lot
Yeah.
of ways, this feels like a fairly even fight in terms of technique and skill and capabilities. Is such a hard one to pick. Do you feel like this fight could come down at some point to dish a straight battle of wills? And if it
Yeah.
does, can a Boston finisher go toe to toe with the warrior spirit of a Hawaiian fighter?
it may come down to that, and that's going to be, you know, there's history in both areas, and especially, I mean, in Hawaii. I can only speak for Hawaii. I don't know about Boston, but we have a history. We have a pride of
Mm-hmm.
of fighting. It's in our ego. We have a warrior spirit, and I am down to test my will against his will. I will test my will against any single person on this planet. I know my will is strong, and I'm confident in my will. Um, and like the Muhammad Ali quote, the mindset of the champion. We can have the skill, we can have the will, but the will must be greater than the skill. And for me, maybe that defines my style. I'm not the prettiest fighter. I'm not the crispest boxer or wrestler, but I'm a gritty, tough guy, and I'll push forward, and I won't break, and I won't quit. So, um, but that's a test. Calvin can go out there and test that too. Maybe I do have a breaking point, but let's see if he can find it, and I'll try to find his. So it'll be fun. It'll be fun.
And I'm glad you brought up going to Abu Dhabi, because that's going to be a key part. Since it's there, it's Fight Island, from other UFC events there, the oppressive heat is often talked about from those events. I doubt the UFC is going to build an arena that has air conditioning, so it's probably going to be hot again. I know you
Yeah.
can train for something like altitude, but how do you train for the sort of desert heat? And have you started pondering ways to prepare for something like that?
I'm sitting outside right now in Las Vegas. It's about 108 degrees.
Mm.
It's pretty hot. Dude. We sparred yesterday. It was hot, 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 hot. But I've been to Abu Dhabi. It's a different hot. It's
Yeah.
it's Vegas plus humidity. So I went there actually last year with when Khabib fought Dustin Poirier, and dude, you could like see steam like coming off
Oh,
the mat, like off the
oh.
canvas. Uh, and I told myself, I was like, I hope I never fight here, but I'm fighting there, so um, I better get ready.
Now, last question. I recently talked to Gray Maynard about like undisclosed payments UFC gives out to fighters after events, and he explained how checks can differ if you're in a title fight, or if you're main event, where you on the card. How big of a financial boost is it for like the next few weeks going into that fight night to be the main event of a UFC card? Are you like looking forward to those extra kinds of cash checks? Do you get some extra cash in terms of sponsors looking for you to sell their wares on social, because you are going to be in a main event and you're a star UFC fighter? And having an extra person in your corner being a part of the main event, how much does that affect?
Yep.
How much are you looking forward to? How beneficial are the perks of being a main event are going to be for you?
Definitely beneficial. A lot of perks come with it. Obviously, it's a short notice, so it's like I'm not worried about scrambling for sponsors. I'm not hurting for money. I just fought.
Mm.
I My main goal and focus is to go out there and win. I could go out there and try to promote on social media, try to find sponsors, this and that. But the reality is, like, I'm just here. I'm here for one thing, and that's to win and win a title. And when I win a title, that's when everything else will come. I But yeah, it's nice. We will get a little bump in pay as far as being the main event and fighting those 2 extra rounds. I see a lot of fighters out there complaining about their pay and this and that, but dude, we sign contracts. So honor if you don't want to if you're gonna complain, don't sign the contract. You're gonna honor your contract. That's like me. I could go out there and ask for more money because I'm stepping up and taking this main event, but I have a
Yeah.
contract. I'm gonna honor it. When it comes time to negotiate, we'll negotiate. And that's leverage. I stepped up. I fought Barboza on 2 weeks' notice. I stepped up. I took a main event and fought Calvin on 4 weeks' notice. It's all leverage, and I'm a man of my word. I will honor my contract, and when it comes to negotiate, hopefully you have a good manager, and hopefully you know how to negotiate, and you sign a deal that you're willing to honor. A lot of these people are signing 8 fight deals, and then they blow up, and they're making a big fuss out of it, but that's their problem. So that's my take on the whole thing. Um, you know, Obviously we should all get paid more. Everyone's gonna always want more. The promoter's always gonna try to get you for less. But no matter if I'm getting paid 500,000, a million, 2 million, 3 million, I'm always gonna want more. So and everyone wants more.
Yeah, yeah.
So so yes, that's basically it.